So we got a pretty significant update on the recent report that Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fantastic would in fact be the lead in Avengers Doomsday. So as it turns out, this isn't entirely true. It is, but it's not. Not the way that you think. So in this video, we're going to go over the actual facts in regards to how he is a lead, sort of. So I kind of lied in the intro because we're going to talk about a couple things here. Not only are we going to talk about the latest update on Pedro leading the Avengers or co-leading, we're also going to touch upon the Pedro Pascal controversy that's been out there. So I want to just kind of double down, triple down, I guess, in this one video and talk about everything. So with that in mind, let's talk about what we heard so far. So per reports and what was said right before Fantastic Four First Steps released was the fact that Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fantastic would be the lead of the Avengers in Avengers Doomsday. Now, naturally, a lot of people had a problem with this. First and foremost, not even people that just outright hate Pedro Pascal. I even saw people that aren't big fans of Sam Wilson claiming that he should not be the leader because the job of the leader of the Avengers is Captain America, and it should be Sam, so he gets the same treatment of growth like Captain America. People forget that in the first Avenger, people were still reluctant to want to see Chris Evans' Captain America lead the Avengers. And back in the day, there was polls, websites, and trades talking about how it should be Iron Man as the lead. So people want to give Sam the same chance. Throwing Pedro in there feels like it's a tactical PR move, right? They want to move him into that position because Pedro is in everything. He's in every project. His face is plastered everywhere. You know, let's bring the amount of money we're going to make up. That's the goal, right? And while I get that, it's getting backlash. So this is where the new reports in regards to what's going on next are starting to show up. So per Variety, they chime in and they say that this is true to a degree, but it's not the entire truth. So let's talk about what his actual role is. So this came at us once again from Variety, and they said, and I quote, "Pascal is not the centerpiece, but he does have an integral role. Avengers Doomsday will feature at least one mega payday in Robert Downey Jr., who is returning to the Marvel fold as the villain Victor Von Doom. Sources say Downey Jr. has earned between 50 to 60 million over the course of 7 movies and 3 cameos. And won't be working at a discount on Doomsday. Neither will Chris Hemsworth, who's returning as Thor." End quote. So I wanted to read you the entire quote because, again, they just briefly touch upon Pedro being not the lead and then talk about the other guys who obviously are going to get major front-facing time because, hey, they cost a lot and, you know, they're paying them that sum. But Pedro is expected to be an actor that's going to be in that range, one of the highest-paid actors really soon if he isn't already, because again, he's everywhere, you know? So what we're hearing is that he is important to the film because his story with Franklin Richards and Doctor Doom is going to be central, and that they don't want to take this story in a way where Doctor Doom and Mr. Fantastic are not really rivals, because that doesn't fundamentally work, because Doctor Doom's biggest rival is Mr. Fantastic, and the same goes for Mr. Fantastic and how he views Doctor Doom. So undoing that would effectively give us a not true to source version of either of these characters. So that's going to stick. So what the reports are now saying, after Variety has stated this, is that you're essentially going to see Captain America and a couple others at the forefront, and Pedro is going to be one of them. He's going to be front-facing. They know they want him there. But he's not the lead of the Avengers. He's essentially going to be the brains of the operation and coming up with the solution. Which, again, that's fine. That's exactly the role Reed Richards serves. Making him a lead in Avengers would automatically, literally, make Sam pointless and almost hurt Sam. And other characters. Like, you got an outsider coming in and suddenly he goes, "Yeah, I lead the Avengers now." And just everybody goes, "Yeah, sure, we trust you, guy from another multiverse. That can't possibly be wrong. We don't know." here you go. No, it doesn't make sense, right? So fine, Pedro is going to be co-lead or somewhere in the top. That's fine, but he's not the lead. Now, let's finally talk about something you guys have wanted me to talk about, which is the controversy surrounding Pedro Pascal. So chances are that you guys are aware that Pedro is very pro-LGBTQ+. He also has a trans sibling. He's also very open about, his own sexuality and all that. It's all out there. You guys can look it up. Also, he's very vocal in regards to who he supports, what he supports, who he wants to work with, and who he doesn't want to work with. And in recent memory, we've seen a lot of his activism. But what happened is, a couple weeks ago, we started to see, right when Fantastic Four was releasing, this turn where everybody was talking about how Pedro is a creep and he's using his anxiety as an excuse to hold people and hold hands with Vanessa Kirby and all this. And you can automatically tell that there's a lot of forced and orchestrated attacks against him. Because, again, it's coming from one specific angle, one specific group. And what else happened during this time is that a couple of actors, Mark Ruffalo and Pedro Pascal, put out an open letter to Hollywood condemning Hollywood's stance and how they're complicit in what's been happening in Palestine. It was 24 hours almost to the dot after his name was on there and after he shared a bunch of posts from actresses like, for example, Wednesday herself, Jenna Ortega, posting about supporting Palestinians, that suddenly all of them got under attack, but Pedro took the front of the attack because, again, Fantastic Four just hit. So a lot of this controversy seems to be put together by different corners of different personal interests from different corners of left-leaning, right-wing, and whatever else you will. And it's kind of just eye-opening because, again, Mark Ruffalo, him, Tatiana Maslany, tons of actors have been very vocal. But Pedro is so popular now that when he says something like this, they quickly turned on him and fabricated stories and issues that really don't exist. They really don't. So at the end of the day, I got nothing to say about the controversy because to me, it's a non-troversy. And you know it is because the people running with it, using it for monetary gain, are the same people that outright lie and support racists and bigots. So, do the math. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.